Hey everyone, I am so excited to bring you this video because it is really unique. It is a collaboration with Nordstrom in collaboration with my friend Sarah from Hot and Humid. We were both given the opportunity to work with Nordstrom Beauty this month, and we thought it'd be fun to come up with a topic and do it on both of our platforms. I'm a YouTuber, obviously you're here. Sarah on Hot and Humid is primarily a blogger and Instagrammer, so I will link her blog and her Instagram account down in the description box. Please go check out her channel to see her take on all of these products. Sarah is in her 30s, I'm in my 40s, so we have maybe little different perspectives. So the concept is looking at the Nordstrom website, at their beauty department specifically, and picking a bestseller from each of the different categories of makeup that I would put on. So what I did is I went to Nordstrom.com, I went to the beauty department, and under that you have the option of looking for makeup by specific product, foundation, concealer, etc. So within each category, I chose to sort the results by highest customer rating, and then within the highest customer rating option, I picked the product that had not just the highest rating, but the most amount of 5-star reviews. There were one or two products that I will talk about, but I can't use because I didn't take into account the fact that I've been self-tanning like a crazy woman. This is not my normal skin color. There's going to be a couple substitutions, but that is not a problem because one of the things I love about shopping at Nordstrom Beauty is that they give amazing samples. And I have a lot of samples to use, so I figure this would be a great time to pull them out. So one of them is the moisturizer that I'm gonna use today. I tore it up because I used half of it already. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. It is an amazing moisturizer. I've owned it before, like the full size. This is a great moisturizer. My skin has always reacted very well to it. And summer, spring, winter, or fall, I have dry skin. I need to moisturize. I've already done the rest of my skincare, but I like to save the moisturizer for right before I put on makeup because it just makes everything go on much more evenly. And I'm realizing I need to get my hair out of my face. One moment. I also need to add sunscreen, and this is a sunscreen. I rotate through several favorites. This one I picked up earlier, I want to say early spring, also from Nordstrom. This particular one is no longer available. It's from Clinique. All right, I'm gonna give this a minute to sit, and then we are gonna get into foundation. So the first place, bestseller in foundation, the second wasn't even close to second. It had over 4,400 5-star reviews, is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Foundation. Now I normally wear it in the shade 1N1, which is Ivory Nude. My summer shade is Ecru, which is still too light for me currently. So what I did was I took another sample that I received from Nordstrom, and I already tried one of the shades. This is the YSL All Hours Foundation, up to 24 wear, flawless matte full coverage, and I'm hoping that B40 isn't too dark for me. Yep, I think we're good. We'll make it work. This is actually a little light. This is funny. Well, we're gonna address that with bronzer, so not a problem. Have I ever had a foundation be too light on me? I don't think so. Now for concealer and corrector. So usually I use the Trish McEvoy Instant Eye Lift before I put on foundation, and that is still 100% my go-to. But the #1 corrector was from Bobbi Brown. It's just called Corrector. I picked it up in the shade Light Beige. I do really like it. Obviously it's a lot, because it's in a pot and not a tube, it's a lot more creamy. It's creamier than the Trish McEvoy. And I think I will like this more in the fall, winter when I get pretty dry. But I have to say, it kind of does double duty as a concealer and a corrector. It's kind of amazing. And it also brings me back to old school YouTube. This was the #1. This is all everybody talked about, was Bobbi Brown Corrector, and I can see why. Now, before I go on and powder, I want to talk about actual concealer. And this has been recommended to me for a long time from other YouTubers like Lisa D1, and it's also the #1 concealer. It has almost 1,200 5-star reviews the last time I checked. It's the Dior Forever Skin Correct. I have it in the shade 1N just to brighten a little bit under my eyes, but I can tell you I am going back to Nordstrom, or at least getting on the website. I'm gonna order more because in different tones. Like I wanna order a shade lighter for when my face is its normal shade, and I also want to go a little bit darker because This could easily double for foundation on a generally good skin day. Just put it in, you know, a few areas you need a little more coverage. This concealer is incredible, a standout favorite for me. Now we're gonna powder and set everything before we move on to the rest of the face. Again, not surprised, the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder was the #1 bestseller in the beauty department, and I went and got a whole new big one. I have about 5 of the mini size that I've received as samples with other beauty purchases from Nordstrom over the years, but I thought it was time to get just one big one again. It does come in 2 color options. So you have the translucent, which is translucent, and then there's a deep one as well if you need a little more. And what I like about this is it sets everything without making it matte, but it's fine enough that I can use it under my eyes as well to set my concealer there. So I'm looking a little pale. The bestseller at Nordstrom Beauty for bronzer is the Bobbi Brown bronzer, which funnily enough, I purchased a long time ago for a previous Nordstrom collab. I have it in the shade Golden Light. I don't know if this is going to work today. It was actually a little too dark for me when I bought it, so I think it's gonna work out just fine. I think this is good for sculpting. I'm going to choose a different one to kind of warm up my face all around because I have a new favorite. So the concept of this, at least the concept in my head, is that I'm gonna give you all the bestsellers, but if there's a product that I like better, I'm gonna tell you about that one. So I do like this one just fine, especially for more, you know, this contouring thing that I'm kind of doing. What do they call it? Bronzing. But I have a new favorite, the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer, or yeah, that's what it's called. I have it in the shade 2 Medium, which honestly is a little bit light for me for doing what I just did, but for warming up my whole face and just fixing, this is fabulous. This is almost, it's so fine you could basically use it as a setting powder, which is kind of what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna run it around and just generally warm up my face and kind of help hide the fact that my foundation is a little bit too light. Now let's get to highlighter. The #1 highlighter was from Laura Mercier. It is right here. It is the Face Illuminator, and they didn't specify which color. I originally purchased Devotion first. It's this beautiful sort of pinky shade, which is beautiful. But then I got a little more tan, and I thought I wanted something a little more golden. So I went back and got Indiscretion. So that's what we're gonna use right now. And I'm just gonna put this on the tops of my cheeks. It's not a crazy in your face highlighter. You can build it up if you want it to be, but I like it a lot. I will admit, I usually like more of an in your face highlighter, so I'm still partial to the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfectors, the pressed powder version. Moving on to blush. This again was a huge standout compared to all the other blush options. Bobbi Brown blush. Now again, it didn't specify a particular color, but when I polled my beauty YouTuber friends and beauty blogger friends, Pretty Pink came out as a highly recommended one. So that is what I got. I'm just gonna pop a little bit of this on the cheeks. I do like this. I like the color options. I will say I am still partial to the Buxom blushes, also available at Nordstrom. I just think there's something so beautiful about those, and also the Clinique Cheek Pops. Those are my favorite department store blushes for sure. All right, the #1 eyebrow pencil was the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz pencil. I've bought numerous versions of that pencil. I always end up snapping it in half. I have told you for years I'm heavy-handed. I'm particularly cruel to Anastasia Beverly Hills eyebrow pencils. #2, a very close #2, was this guy, also a huge favorite. It is the Dior Show Brow Styler, and I got it in the shade 001 Brown. So spoolie on one end, and then a twist up pencil on the other. And I have to say, this is most definitely my new favorite. Now this is all personal preference, I like an eyebrow pencil that's creamy and easy to draw on. I don't like a hard waxy pencil. Other people prefer the exact opposite. So it's all about personal preference. And all I do for my eyebrows is I comb them up, and then I kind of do an outline on the top and an outline on the bottom, and then fill it in. I take the spoolie on the other end and I comb it through a little bit And that's it. Now for eyeshadow, I specifically wanted a palette, not a single eyeshadow, not a quad. I wanted a full palette because that's where my heart is. I love eyeshadow palettes. It's not healthy how many I have, and I don't care. And this surprised me. It also surprised me I still had it because I thought I decluttered it. The Naked 3 from Urban Decay was by far the most popular eyeshadow palette. It is my least favorite color story. I am not a fan of cool tones. I am not a fan of like cool tone mauves, but I will go with what the people have decided on and do a look with this to the best of my ability. I am just starting with the shade Limit, which is the matte mauve shade. I will say this color palette is probably great. I have bluish greenish eyes, so these pinkish undertones will definitely bring out the green, but I'm more of a true neutrals fan. I prefer browns, tans, champagne. I'm gonna take the lightest shimmer shade, Dust, and do just that. Dust it across the lid. This is gonna go well with the blush. I don't generally do matchy-matchy, but they're all in the same color family. I'm going to add some depth to the outer corner with another shimmer shade. There aren't a lot of mattes in this palette. I think I'm gonna try Factory, which is sort of a deep chocolatey brown with a little bit of shimmer. Not too much. I am gonna take the lightest color, which is called Strange. I'm gonna pop that in the corner. Definitely too light to be used as a brow bone for me right now. For eyeliner, I already have several of these. I used this collab as an excuse to buy another one. It is from Clinique. It is the quick liner for eyes, and I picked up the shade Dark Chocolate. I am very partial to a dark brown. I love that it's not a pencil that you have to sharpen, and it does come with a little smudger on the end, and I'm just going to quickly run this along the lash line. I love Clinique eyeliners. Now for mascara, there was the #1 mascara primer was from Lancome, and the #1 mascara was from Lancome. I decided not to use the primer because I feel like that's cheating. I want you to see how this actually looks on my eyes without any help. But it was the Lancome, I think it's the Seals Booster. And the most popular mascara was the Lancome why can't I say this? The Lancome Definicils. Okay, do bottom lashes first. I do like this very much for bottom lashes. I like this long, skinny wand, but I think you can already tell I have other favorites overall. Just from Lancome itself, I think Lancome mascaras in general are probably some of the best offered in a department store. I prefer Monsieur Big or Hypnose Drama. I really like the Chanel Le Volume. Wander Beauty makes some amazing mascaras. But again, it goes back to personal preference and what you want. If you want long, separated, very natural lashes, this one that I'm not even gonna try to pronounce again does just that. But I like thick, voluminous, as fake looking as possible without wearing fake lashes, and this doesn't do that. Let's zoom out and finish off the look with the lips. As far as lip products go, MAC by and far just killed this category. So the most popular lip liner was from MAC, and the most popular lipstick is also from MAC. Again, didn't specify which shade, so I used this as an excuse to add a color that I wanted anyway. This is Soar from MAC, and it is one of the most popular colors that you hear about on YouTube, so I figure I don't own it yet, why not? So we're gonna quickly do that. Can't do that, give me a minute. I will say I forgot how beautiful a shade range MAC has and how creamy and easily it goes on. These are not my favorite lip liners from Nordstrom. I would say Urban Decay, and this is where it's very different from what I'm looking for in a brow pencil. The Urban Decay ones are a little more waxy, so they aren't as creamy going on, but they also stick. They stay put, and they are fabulous for helping your lipstick last even longer, especially if you fill in your lips with that same color. It's not gonna budge. For lipstick, also from MAC, but specifically their matte lipsticks were ranked #1 out of all of them. Don't have a lot of matte ones, so I went with a shade. It was hard. It was between a few colors, but I ended up going with Mare. I think of this as a little bit more of a fall shade, but it's, you know, there are no rules. So let's slap it on. Matches perfectly with Soar. What a difference some lip liner makes. I mean, I have lips. All right, the last thing is not a bestseller, but it's something I have been lurking around their website for, and when I can get into a Nordstrom, I always ask for a sample of this. I'm so excited. So I think it was a year ago, or maybe more, when Tom Ford released their Lost Cherry fragrance, and I love it. I absolutely love, I love that sweetness and warmth and just a little bit of sexiness to it. But at the time, all I had released were the big bottles, and the price tag on those is a little outside of my budget. Well, they finally released it in an atomizer, and I literally, the day it went live on the site, I've been stalking. The day it went live, I ordered it. So here it is, here's the atomizer. Isn't she beautiful? It's not glass. I don't know what this is. It feels like lacquer. And it's beautiful. It's travel size, but it's a big atomizer. And it has a magnetic top, which I love. If you were looking for a way to add a Tom Ford fragrance to your collection that's a little more budget friendly, try the atomizer. So good. Please go check out Sarah's Instagram account and her blog. I really can't wait to see her perspective on all of these products as well. Thank you to Nordstrom for another fun collaboration. I really enjoyed this. I have had so much fun, and not only are these products bestsellers with Nordstrom customers, many of these have found their way into my favorites as well. If you use any of these products, please do not hesitate to let me know in the comments below which of these are your favorites as well. As always, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Thank you in advance for checking out Sarah, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!